They talk a lot about Real Madrid, Barcelona, or Bayern Munich, but I'm here to talk about Paris Saint-Germain, the team currently holding the most advantages. The first advantage came this morning when PSG defeated Angers and officially claimed the Ligue 1 title with an unbeaten record after 28 matches. They've sorted out their domestic issues and are now ready to focus all their energy on the Champions League, where teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and other big clubs are facing various challenges, from poor form to injury concerns. Somewhere in the distance, Nasser Al-Khelaifi is probably sipping on a fine glass of wine, feeling content with his decision to move on from the attacking trio of Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, even though he didn't want that situation in the first place. If we talk about PSG's strongest asset this season, it's undoubtedly their attack. They no longer rely on individual superstars as they once did, but now boast a highly organized and deep attacking unit, with incredibly fluid movement under Luis Enrique's guidance. Paris Saint-Germain now has one of the strongest attacking lines in Europe, with 23 wins, 5 draws, and no losses in Ligue. However, their unbeaten record is just the tip of the iceberg. What's truly impressive is how PSG creates opportunities and scores goals from an attack that doesn't have a fixed point. They've abandoned the traditional central striker and instead use players like Ousmane Dembélé, known as a winger but now playing as a false nine. The interesting part is that Dembélé doesn't stay static. He moves around, dragging the opponent's defense and opening up large spaces for players like Kvaratskhelia and Bradley Barcola, who possess impressive speed and skill. Luis Enrique's philosophy is clear. No one stands still, but the team structure is always maintained. Continuous movement doesn't disrupt the system. In fact, it keeps the formation cohesive. For instance, when one player moves out wide, another will automatically move into the center or drop deeper to fill the gap. This makes it incredibly difficult for opponents to track the players. In a typical situation against Liverpool, Kvaratskhelia pulled a fullback out of position, Barcola moved to the right and created a massive space for Dembélé to receive the ball and score. As of now, PSG is the highest scoring team in Ligue 1, with 80 goals in 28 matches, averaging 2.85 goals per game. Comparing that to the 2-1, 2-0, 2-2 season when Messi was still at Parc des Princes, PSG's offensive output has drastically improved. That season, PSG scored just 90 goals in 38 matches, averaging around 2.37 goals per game. What's striking is that PSG no longer relies on any single individual for goals. In the past, it seemed like every match revolved around moments of brilliance from Neymar, Messi, or Mbappe. But now, PSG attacks as a unified unit. Statistics show that 13 different players have scored at least 3 goals this season, with the goals being spread out evenly across the team. Players like Goncalo Ramos, Dembélé, Kvaratskhelia, Barcola, Vitinha, Lionel Messi, and even defenders like Nuno Mendes and Achraf Hakimi have contributed to both scoring and assists. Particularly, we must highlight how Luis Enrique uses the squad depth. He isn't afraid to rotate players, even pushing someone out of the starting lineup if their form isn't up to par. Whether starting or coming off the bench, all players know they could be replaced at any time. This creates strong internal competition and helps maintain the intensity and drive in every attacking move. PSG's flexibility in player movement and positioning makes their setup extremely unpredictable. None of their forwards are purely wingers or central strikers. Dembélé can play on the right, left, or drop into the center, while Kvaratskhelia can drift wide or cut inside. The 3 forwards can drop into wide midfield positions or play high up, making it extremely difficult for the opposing defense to predict the next attacking move. As the defense is stretched, PSG exploits the instability to create space effectively. They no longer need a traditional no 10 like Bruno Fernandes or James Rodriguez because the creative responsibilities are shared 50/50 between attacking players and midfielders. Luis Enrique sets up the midfield as a 3-man block with no one too high or solely focused on defense. Each player is capable of escaping pressing, making decisive passes, and getting into the box. This makes it incredibly difficult for opponents to defend, as no one knows who will be the one to make the decisive pass. When it comes to pressing, PSG applies pressure from the front with extremely high intensity. Don't let the tricky players like Kvaratskhelia or Dembélé fool you. In reality, they are powerful pressing machines, Both consistently put pressure on the center backs and fullbacks, not allowing them to build up play comfortably. Thanks to their strong pressing, PSG often wins the ball back early and immediately organizes counterattacks, making them a nightmare for any defense. Paris Saint-Germain is no longer a team reliant on individual superstars. They are now a cohesive system, a precise, fast, and extremely unpredictable attacking machine. This makes PSG not just a contender for the Ligue title, but also a real force in the Champions League. The story of PSG's midfield under Enrique's leadership didn't start with stars like Fabian Ruiz or João Neves, but with his complete elimination of the concept of a central superstar in the middle of the park. This season, PSG doesn't use a traditional no-6 like Casemiro, nor a classic no-10 like Kevin De Bruyne. Instead, they have three highly flexible midfielders who can seamlessly swap roles, with no clear-cut distinctions in their duties. Fabian Ruiz, a left-footed player, typically plays on the left side, and we can take a look at his heat map to better understand the range of a Euro champion's movements. Next up are Vitinha and João Neves, who take turns playing the no-8 and no-6 roles. Neves tends to lean more towards no-8, while Vitinha holds down no-6 thanks to his excellent ball control under pressure. Enrique has said he trusts Vitinha so much that giving him the ball feels like depositing money in the bank, as Vitinha consistently maintains a high passing accuracy, 91%, and ranks among the top 5% of European midfielders in progressing the ball. He's always on the move, creating passing angles that allow PSG to transition quickly, even under heavy pressure from the opposition. For Vitinha to confidently distribute the ball, Enrique needs players who can protect the space around him, and that's where Fabian Ruiz comes in. In the past, when Enrique was managing Spain, he made the mistake of leaving Ruiz out of the 2022 World Cup squad. However, after a season working together at PSG, Enrique admitted he was wrong not to trust Ruiz. Ruiz has proven he's not just a technically gifted player, but also incredibly strong in duels and tough in defense. His 50-match unbeaten streak in Ligue 1 is the clearest testament to this. That's the clearest evidence of the stability and tactical value Neves brings, a player whom Enrique has placed a lot of trust in. I'm not trying to stir up controversy, but if we compare Neves to Gavi this season, it's clear Neves has outperformed Gavi in many areas. Previously, many thought Neves was only good defensively, but this season at PSG he's shown himself to be one of the most complete midfielders under Enrique. He's not only the player with the most tackles on the team, but also among those making the best progressive passes. Neves doesn't limit himself to the midfield. At times, Enrique even pulls him back to play as a fullback in crucial matches, utilizing his defensive support and ability to launch quick counterattacks from the back. What makes Enrique special is that he never makes any of these three players the fixed central figure, but keeps the competition alive between them. This is why even a bright young talent like Warren Zaïre-Emery has to accept being a backup, despite the high expectation. In other words, Enrique has turned PSG's midfield into a highly flexible machine, where every individual is an essential part of the system, and no piece is fixed. It's all about a collective that's always ready to do whatever it takes to ensure the system functions as smoothly as possible. This absolute flexibility and versatility have made PSG's midfield the strongest trio in Europe at the moment. The win against Liverpool over 3 weeks ago was the clearest signal that PSG is ready. This was a match where they didn't need Mbappe or any superstar to carry the team, but still managed to beat a side that had previously terrified Europe with its pressing football. Now PSG is heading into the knockout stages with everything needed to become a title contender. A sharp attack, a terrifyingly flexible midfield, deep squad depth, a heavy pressing system, and most importantly, a team that doesn't rely on any individual. They are no longer a team of flashy individual stars, but a collective of tactical stars. Enrique has wiped away the chaotic image of the old Paris Saint-Germain and transformed them into a modern war machine. While Real Madrid struggles with injuries, Bayern Munich faces a similar situation, and Barcelona begins to show signs of fatigue. PSG is the only team that has sorted out all their domestic business, is ready for the Champions League, and is peaking at the most crucial time. Those who aren't careful might be the first to get swallowed up.